Oh, le vent a bien tourné. Ne gaspille pas mon temps, une autre a su me soigner. Voilà, tu disparais sans laisser un mot. T'as préféré fuir comme un enfant, partir sans te retourner. Je t'ai prêté mon cœur et tu lui as donné ton dos.
Hey guys, this is Ronald's Corner, episode 3. I've got myself a very special guest named Stephanie.
Yes.
Would you mind giving us a intro?
Wow, my name is Tiffany. You know, I'm still Jenny from the block. I used to have a little, now I have a lot. No, but for real, so I just got back recently from Namibia.
Okay.
I had my little boy who's turning 2 in a few months, which I can't believe because damn, they grow so fast.
Yeah. Okay, what were you doing in Namibia?
I was in school, I was studying travel and tourism.
Tourism. Okay.
So yeah, it was an interesting time for me, you know, a lot of lessons learned, a lot of life experience.
Yeah, we would like to know those life experiences and all that. So did you end up finishing school? What happened? Was it having the kid? We're taking drinks, yeah. Okay.
So no, COVID hit and I couldn't finish. I did manage to finish about 2.5 years.
Okay.
I was supposed to be doing my third year and getting my degree, but yeah. COVID. Corona, thank you China. Yeah, it hit and hey guys, so I ended up moving in with my boyfriend at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
And then yes, baby happened.
Freaky shit, I knew it.
It was listen, if you weren't cuddled up or coupled up during COVID, I don't know what you were doing, Chomi. I don't know what you were doing.
Our population.
I know you were up on
increased during
Netflix
that time.
finishing somebody's subscription or you were doing something, but if you were not coupled up during, what were you doing during COVID?
You know, studying the Bible,
Yeah, I'm sure.
philanthropy.
I'm sure. What does Corinthians 25 verse 7 say?
Hey, you don't need to really quote these things. And if you're a professional, you know it in the heart. You need to give people a chance to learn it by themselves.
It's okay.
What do you?
We understand. It says, thou art not lie. About what he is doing during COVID.
It's not yet
What
time
he is
to open
doing
up
during
me.
COVID, that's
It's
what
not,
it
it's
is.
not yet time to expose me. Let's start with you, okay? So COVID, we all know that's what was happening. Yeah, I know that from personal experience. Okay, then that happened. You got a son who's now 2 years old. What's his name?
Almost. Mariah.
Mariah. Okay, what happened to the both of them?
We're not together. He's a piece of something I refuse to mention. You know, because it just would be so uncouth. But anyways, no, we decided to part ways.
No.
And
No, Stephanie, here.
he cheated.
Yeah,
He cheated on me,
wait.
and
Stefan,
I chose to leave him.
Stefan, it's okay. Calm. Here, we don't rush through topics. We don't rush through insinuations. We don't rush through relationships. We need to know step by step. Okay. When the kid, what did he do? What did you do?
Yeah, no. Anyways, he cheated while I was here, and I was sorting my papers to move to his home country, and which is at Namibia. I'm not going to disclose where it is, but yeah. So it just was a choice of me realizing what I wanted for myself, really. If there was a life path I was gonna accept, which a lot of women tend to do these days, which, you know, as I said, each man for himself, you pick what, you know, suits you, what you want to do. If you're okay with staying with a guy that's not going to be faithful, then it's okay for the sake of maybe having a kid, or for the sake of your marriage, or for the sake of your family. I mean, I can't judge someone for doing that, but it wasn't going to be something that I was going to do.
So it's an each man for himself thing working out for most people nowadays. Do you think it's working out?
I think that I can't answer that for a lot of people, but I can answer it for myself, because every single person has their own situation, which is why I say I can't judge someone because I'm not in the exact situation. I mean, she could be staying with him because he got $1 billion in the bank, and I would still stay with him.
Okay.
But like for me, it was just I knew my happiness would lie somewhere else, and that just wasn't where my portion was, and I would find it someday. So for me, it's working out great.
Okay, Steph. Yeah, sometimes I need to ask tough questions. Did you think that maybe it would have been best to stick out the relationship for the sake of your son?
No,
Why?
it never would have worked out. He would have grown up seeing two people fighting all the time, mom always crying over where dad was, or just a situation where you're raising a child thinking you're doing what's best for them, but it's the exact opposite. They would have seen all the trauma, all the hurt, and it would have been embedded in them growing up. And when they grew up, they wouldn't have any idea what a healthy relationship is.
Okay. Well, look, marriage is tough. I doubt there's a single marriage where the parents never fight.
It's really not about that. But let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Would you consciously and willingly make the decision to stick it out with someone who you know is not going to respect you, who's not going to think about your opinion in certain things, how you're going to feel about certain things they do? Would you consciously make that choice and accept it and be like, it's okay, just because you want to? Okay, you don't have this at the moment, but like would that just be something you consciously want to do? Sometimes you have to be selfish.
Well, look, the problem with a lot of relationships, and I spoke about this even with Robin, is communication. Your definition of respect will be different for the other partner. Men and women, we're different. We value things differently. We see there's some things that will hurt you, but won't really hurt your guy the same way. So when you say respect, you say, okay, the guy cheated on you. Okay. I would like to ask for specifics.
Wow. This is a lot you're asking right now.
Please take a drink.
That's a lot you're asking. I better not have any of his family watching this, because then you go, no, your son is, no, just pretty much everyone, the neighbors were calling me to be like, there's someone bitch in your house. Anyways, he cheated on me with his ex-girlfriend who flew in from another country when I wasn't there. Yeah. So it wasn't, and you know what, let me just say this. I hear this all the time. Every man cheats. Every man cheats. Every man cheats. Oh my God. Guys, it's like a song we sing now. It's like every man cheats. It's like a song now. It's a song. We all sing it now. We all sing it, But I am one of the few, and hate me. I mean, think that I am naive or I'm stupid or whatever. But let me tell you something. I truly believe that there are some men out there that do not. That is still my disposition, and I will remain with it. If it means I'm going to be single forever, then, maybe that's what it needs to be. I'm actually pretty happy being single, That's what those are for.
I agree with you. I agree with you. To a certain extent. Okay? There's guys out there who don't cheat. True. Very, very, very rare. Either they don't have the options, or they genuinely, those nice guys that most women at the end of the day still don't look towards. You still go for the bad boys, you still go for the fuck boys, you still go for the guys who have the options.
This is when I say that it also depends on which era you are in. For women, I think we have our different eras and we have our different phases. There's our just into high school, falling in love chapter with that guy, and sometimes these are the guys that these other women marry and whatever and stick it out with, and that's the phase where you easily fall in love. This is your knight in shining armor. Is it just out of high school phase where you're like, I'm jumping over judo walls and coming home 2 days later, And then you get into your 20s and you're still kind of in that vibe, but you're now also trying to look for something solid. But you're still, don't really have your standards set locked on. And then you get to my stage, which I feel like maybe I reached a bit earlier because I had my kid. And it just gave me a lot of perspective on life. And also, as I said, a lot of experiences I went through living in a foreign country alone. that really just had to grow me up in certain things, certain aspects of my mindset that I had to, you know, advance in very quickly in order to survive out in the real world, you know. So so that's that stage now where you're a grown woman, you're independent, you're doing things for yourself, and you're not just gonna accept anyone to come up in your space. Like, as much as, yes, sometimes you get lonely, sometimes you want someone with kids and hold and cuddle with, like, you're not going to be like, I'm willing to, you know, just lower this list of mine because, you know, he seems nice and it's winter, guys, I want to cuddle with somebody. I'm talking to you.
But didn't you have all these options in your early 20s?
I did all of that. Every single thing that I mentioned now.
You had all these guys as options in your early 20s. Did you not? Like, when you there was no option to settle. You had, you had offers here, your DMs here, your guys approaching you here from all ages, all financial standings, all types of guys. Are you telling me you never met a guy who was somewhat, who could have been your somewhat ideal type at this point, if you had met them now?
Funny enough, there was a guy in the movie. I was actually thinking about this the other day.
There's always a guy. Guys, there's too many good guys.
You know what? That's what I'm saying. This era I was in, that early 20s era, whatever, where you just like, you know what, I'm living my best life, and that's really the stage where you're most likely to fall for the bad boy. You know, you're most likely to be attracted to him. So there was a nice guy. He was so sweet. He'd even come to the bar where I was working, sit, have a drink, wait for me to finish, you know, drive me home, blah blah blah. We'd have lunch some places, you know. But I always kept him in that friend zone. But you know, we flirted a little. But obviously, I used intentions. I mean, he was such a nice guy. Like, one time, we even paid for my school fees.
Whoa, shit! You know. Actually, I'm actually not super surprised. There's a lot of guys out there who actually do that. And,
I know, it was 1 month that I was behind on, and I did pay him back.
You're the fucking knight in shining armor.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was like, listen, I'm a month behind. Can you sort me out, and I'll sort you out later. But you know, he didn't even like need a lot of explanations to be like, no, it's okay. You know, I can help you out with this and whatever. But like now, I was literally thinking about the other day to be like, what would life have been if I actually stayed with him and like, you know, try to settle down with that nice guy that really seemed nice. But you know what, Chomi, in the end they always turn out to be Benzis. They always turn out to be stupid. Listen, that's what I thought about my baby daddy. I'm sorry. I thought he was the nicest guy in the world.
A proper good guy, not a bad boy.
A proper, like, and to be honest, for the longest time, he stayed in that category. Like, I'm telling you, men will make you believe anything. Like, at this point, I don't even know what to believe. Like, is there a wall real? Does these cushions exist? You know, like, that's the point I'm at now, because that's why I say I'm so happy in my solitude and whatever.
Steffi, I'm trying to look. The problem is, okay, you are happy at this stage, but is it a stage that you want to stay in for the rest of your life? Don't you want to find someone who you can just grow and build a family with? Because some of these things, right, nothing's perfect. Sometimes you, like you said, when you're young, you had all the options. You did have that option, but you didn't take it. Because you also wanted to have fun. You could have taken it, but you wouldn't have had all that fun. You wouldn't have all that experience and all. You'd have been shut in.
I wouldn't have had my son.
No.
I feel like every decision I made led up to him.
But still, I will not let you use that as an excuse.
Well, that is my perfect excuse. All the mistakes I've made in life led me to my baby boy. So you know what? I've accepted them.
No.
I've accepted them. I'm in.
You came to the wrong corner.
Oh
I'm not gonna be soft.
Okay, why won't you? What is your?
Because look, you can't say all these mistakes, etc. Boom, got my son, he fixes it all. Your son ain't supposed to fix all that. You're supposed to reflect. You're supposed to reflect. What I want from this podcast, right, is so that we have the tough conversations. It's not a monologue. I'll tell you my views, you tell me yours. So, and we share it with everyone else, because I'm sure a lot of people are in the same situation, have the same questions, different stages in life, and they want to know certain things. So we've got to tell the truth. That when you are young and all that, younger, actually, I forgot to ask your age. You're not supposed to really ask someone's age or how old she is, so just say, how young are you?
How young am I?
Yeah.
let's just say I'm not Marilyn Monroe, but I'm not Beyonce.
We're gonna drama queen.
I'm there.
Okay, cool,
I'm
guys.
there,
Just guess.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. When she was younger.
I can date a father and a son. Both of y'all. Both of y'all.
There's a lot
Don't
of
play
shit.
me.
There's a lot of that shit that's happening. We'll talk
Don't
about
play
it.
me.
We'll
No,
talk about it.
Show me, why should that be wrong? If
No,
you
no.
can date my sister and you can date me, why can I not date your father?
No, it's like no, you're saying.
No.
Okay, you know
Don't
what?
come here with some double
You
standard
know what?
bullshit.
It's not double standard bullshit. It's wrong both ways.
Okay. Before we
Yeah,
go to that topic,
you're
I want to answer the question you gave me. You said, do I not want that? Yes, I want it. I want that connection. I want that. Like, you know, there's sometimes where I actually have dreams back to when I was still with my son's dad, and I remember how happy we were, and you know, I even dream about like if we were married, and you know, I was by my family's place, and like literally I had a dream about it actually last night. And as much as yes, I have gone over the situation, and you know, we're amicable and whatever, like my brain still takes me to those places, which does show me that obviously that's something I want. I mean, every little girl dreams of having a fairy tale wedding and having the man that comes and, you know, maybe, you know, what's for supper and you know, in the kitchen. Like, one of my dreams was actually to be like a housewife for like a really rich man.
And that's
like a
not
really
wrong.
rich man.
And
But
that's
yeah,
not a bad thing at all.
Yeah,
Women, you
you
can
know,
want that. You're not a gold.
I actually really wanted it. Like, obviously, yes, I love my career and what I'm doing now, but I wanted that for myself. And even being with his dad, like, you know, I loved it. I love being able to cook a dinner and him come home and host his family and, you know, do this and that. And so obviously one day I really
So
want
don't you think for this?
But I'm not going to settle because of that.
No. Settle. You're saying the word settle as if it's some cruel, evil word. It isn't. A lot of times we settle for things, right? They're not necessarily bad. It's just we realize that the probability of getting this perfect thing in our mind.
I never said
It's so
perfect.
high.
Never did I ever
No,
mention
that's
the word
perfect.
perfect.
Because out of your relationship, right, with your ex, your baby daddy, okay, was the only thing that he cheated?
No. He
Okay.
lied a lot, incessantly.
Lied about what?
Stupid things that don't even matter sometimes.
Like,
Oh my gosh. He just said things that just didn't really make sense that he didn't have to lie about.
I want to show you.
I you know, when I go back in my head, I can't remember exactly what he lied about, which is why now when I really realize who he is, and you know, I'm like,
It didn't really need to end. That's what my point is.
yes, it did. I'm telling you this
Wait.
right now. I would have not been happy with him.
But you
I'm
you
someone that
reflected
I'm
on
a
all
jealous
these thoughts.
person. I'm jealous.
And that's totally fine.
I
Women
want
are
to
jealous.
be
No,
listen.
it's
If
perfectly
you're gonna
fine.
cheat, make sure you do it behind burglar bars, behind a safe, behind
Great.
things I can't even find. Because when I do find out,
Great. Now we're making hidden.
no, my
Gentlemen,
gosh.
you see, the thing is.
I never
no,
said
no, no,
cheat.
no,
I
no.
said
I'm also
If you are.
Let me make my point. Stephanie. Okay. The lying stuff, it wasn't even hectic for you enough to
You
even
cheat.
remember it. Wait. I said you can blast me or expose me after this. We're not yet done with you, okay? Right. So, even the lying stuff, it wasn't anything. It was literally that he cheated, right? And he did it in your house, because you are now the woman of the house, yes? That's where the disrespect really came from. Because look, let me be honest, all our ancestors, our mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, they knew, that's where the whole saying, men cheat, came from. But I admit, this generation and the previous one, I think I'll say one generation behind, does it more disrespectful than our predecessors. It would never come back to the home. You wouldn't find the guy building out another family.
So
Because once you do it, no, let me just, I want to make my point, yeah. You wouldn't find them making other families, etc. Like, especially in Zimbabwean culture, if you, let's say, slept with a woman, or you impregnated her, right, you need to take care of her. You have to. There was no other option. You build a hut, you do this, now you've got two families. Nowadays, a nigga does that, he dips, it's gone. We have lost a lot of protections that both genders benefited from. Where a man could be a man and still provide and protect for his family. You understand? And where a woman wouldn't have to suffer the consequences too much of a man doing that, because he would then have to support. So the whole cheating thing at this point, it's more of, like I said, communication, because a lot of things are becoming distorted. We're losing our own culture.